Alright, my name's Dan O'Connor. I'm not very good at this, but I wanted to talk to the people who self-injure because I've been self-injuring since I was in 8th grade. I'm going to be a senior next year, and right now I'm 108 days clean, and so I'll just tell you a little bit about myself. On February 19th of this year, 2013, I tried to kill myself. I took 26 extra strength Tylenol, which is 13 grams of Tylenol, and I mixed them in with a drink while I was at school. And because of my friend Sage Davis, she told a teacher who got the nurse, who then got everyone called 911. But I didn't try and kill myself at school because I wanted attention. There's a 4 hour delay on Tylenol, so when I would have actually felt the effects, I would have been home and I would have been completely alone. Um, so after that, I went into the ICU after going into the emergency room because my Tylenol levels were almost twice the lethal dose. So after that, I was hospitalized. I was put in an inpatient program 3 days after that. And when I was there, I met quite a few people who were absolutely just astonishing how much they put up with and how they just continued to live their life essentially. So after I left Devereaux, I went to a partial program. And so at the partial program, you have to report in every day saying your mood, uh, your goal for the day, like what you wanted to talk about in group therapy, um, like a word that describes your mood, and then the mood number, as well as if you were having hallucinations and if you were suicidal or if you self-injured that night. And so almost every day while I was there, I would report in that I was self-injuring. Didn't really talk about my hallucinations or anything like that, but after a while, I had a really bad weekend. And so on Monday, when that came out, I had carved the word die with a nail because my parents had already taken away all the knives and all of my razors. So I'd carved the word die into my arm and into my chest as well as scratched myself up. So I got checked out by the nurse and she saw this, and the psychiatrist there immediately decided that I needed to be hospitalized again. So I went into another inpatient where I spent a week. Um, while I was there, I was only with people that really had anger issues, and they weren't there because they weren't better. It was because they didn't have anywhere to go. They needed to be put into placement, which is a residential, and so no one would accept them. Their families didn't want them, and they didn't have anybody to go to. And so the entire time I just sat there thinking how lucky I was that I could come back to my family and that they would try and help me get better. But these kids didn't have that option. So that really kind of motivated me. And that was kind of like one of the final steps where I realized that I have all of these things to help me. Why not take advantage of them? So I got out of that hospital, went back into the partial program, and only reported that I had self-injured twice. But that's when I started talking about my hallucinations and that sort of thing. I would have flashbacks. I couldn't see the word or the words Belmont or Devereaux. Otherwise, I would just go back and I would remember these ridiculously strange things. I would never really have a happy memory about them. It would always be something upsetting. So I started to talk about those, and then I finally got out of the partial program, and I went back to school, and that that was a big realization for me because I realized who was my friend and who really wasn't. Because there was a lot of people that had always told me like, "Oh, I'm there for you," and then once I got back into school, they wouldn't say a word to me. They wouldn't even look at me in the hallways, and so I started to play lacrosse again, and I finally told my team everything. I I told them about how I'd been dealing with depression. I told them about how they're helping me because playing lacrosse and pushing me was always something to get my mind off of my urges and my depression essentially, because when I was on the field I was a completely different person. And so the lacrosse team was really a huge help, as well as the coach. Um, he helped me through a lot. Actually, I spent a lot of time talking to him about what was going on and asking him for favors, such as pushing me harder in practice and that sort of thing. And it's because of certain people and because of certain things that I decided that I needed to do that I stopped self-injuring. But there are a lot of little things that I did as well that didn't involve other people, that were just kind of my own choice. So I'm really big into tattoos. I've always been big into tattoos and art, and really any form of art I really like. And so tattoos is something that caught my attention. And so I loved the idea of getting a tattoo over my scars. And so I've been talking to my friend about it. And so I wanted to get the word blessed tattooed over on my left arm, which is where all of my scars are. And so whenever I had urges, I would write the word out. I would just draw a design of blessed, of the tattoo design of the Sharpie on my arm. And every time I wanted to self injure, I would look at it and realize, like, I have a reason not to do it this time. Okay, I'm not going to do it. But sometimes it's even smaller steps. Like, eventually my urges got so bad that that didn't work. And so there's a lot of videos. There's a guy out there that I watched a few weeks ago, and he had this idea of writing a single letter every time you have a day that you go clean. And so I told that to a few of my friends who were still struggling with self-injuring. And I started to do it myself. And I have a whiteboard up in my room, and not everyone has a whiteboard, but it's as easy as getting a piece of paper that can be put somewhere that you can see it every day, whether it be in your room or in your kitchen, wherever, somewhere that you can always see it. And you choose a word that means a lot to you, or even a grouping of words. So if you have a problem with the way that you look, you write out the word beautiful. If you have a problem with your just self-confidence for any reason, you write out self-worth. So I decided that I was going to write out self-worth. And so I wrote it on my whiteboard, and I could see it every day. And underneath it, I wrote, "Keep your promise." So I had promised one of my friends who's still in the hospital and has been in the hospital since November or December. I promised her that I wouldn't self-injure, I wouldn't try and kill myself, and that if anything did happen, I would tell her about it. So I still go and visit her, and right now I'm trying to get more people to tell me their stories, whether it be you've been clean for 6 days, 100 days, however many days. Just a success story, essentially. Because it's not you don't win when you're 1,000 days clean. That's not how it goes. When you deal with depression, it's every single day, every week, every month, every year. It doesn't just go away. It's not like, oh, I was depressed last month, now I'm better. It doesn't go away. It's something that you will deal with for the rest of your life, but you learn tricks to help you deal with it. And that's all that really matters, because a day at a time is really how you have to deal with it. You can't look in the future and be like, oh, I'm going to be 100 days clean in 13 days. No. You're going to say, I'm this many days clean right now. Okay? I want to be one more tomorrow. And that's how you have to go about every single day of your life. Sometimes you're going to even do it without thinking about it. You're going to realize, oh, I didn't self-injure yesterday. I haven't self-injured today. Alright, it's been a good few days. When you have a good week, yeah, take pride in that. Don't look so much in the future when you have so much to deal with right ahead of you. Right here, right now. That's what you need to deal with. And I really want to help people who have been self-injuring and who deal with depression and don't know what to do. Because I might not be completely out, but I'm 100 days clean. If I can get there, you can get there. I went from self-injuring every single day to not cutting in over 100 days. I haven't cut myself, I haven't burned myself, I haven't done anything to hurt myself in 100 days. I just hope that for some odd reason I might be able to help whoever's out there that's struggling. Because I don't know your story, I don't know 100% what you've been through or what you're going to go through. I can just tell you what I've been through and that I've made it this far, and so can you. But right now, there are people that want to help you. There are people that are going to help you. There's always someone that is within grasp that can help you. And no matter what, don't ever forget that. Because someone loves you, and if you were gone, someone would miss you. And I tell you this right now, I don't know you, but trust me, I'd miss you. Alright, thank you.